The age of weaponized uncertainty, social media, AI, and the rise of a parallel geopolitical intelligence world, where commentary, speculation, OSINT, and conspiracy collide. The old information order is breaking apart. Governments no longer control the first draft of geopolitical history, journalists no longer monopolize interpretation, and millions of people armed with smartphones and AI can now construct intelligence like narratives in minutes. Some will uncover truths, others will manufacture them. The defining skill of the coming era will be knowing the difference. The intelligence agency in your pocket. Something fundamental has happened to geopolitics. For most of modern history, ordinary citizens learned about wars, coups, assassinations, military deployments, and diplomatic crises after institutions had processed the information. Governments knew first. Intelligence agencies analyzed behind closed doors. Journalists cultivated sources. Editors decided what was sufficiently verified to publish. Television networks then broadcast a relatively small selection of interpretations to mass audiences. That hierarchy is disappearing. A missile launches at 3:02 p.m. A civilian records it at 3:03. Telegram channels geolocate the footage at 3:05. Someone on X compares the skyline with Google Earth at 3:07. An anonymous military account identifies the probable weapon at 3:10. An influencer announces that a war has begun at 3:12. An AI system produces a 2,000-word strategic assessment at 3:15. And at 3:17, somebody uploads a completely fabricated AI video showing an attack that never occurred. All of it arrives on the same screen. That is the new geopolitical information environment. The 2026 Reuters Institute Digital News Report provides a statistical marker of just how far this transition has advanced. Across 48 markets, social media and video networks have, for the first time, become the most widely used way of accessing online news, at 54%, ahead of news organizations' own websites and apps at 51%. 30% now identify social and video networks as their main source of news, while 12% rely exclusively on them for news. AI chatbots are also emerging as intermediaries. Weekly use for news rose from 7% to 10% in a single year. This means the first draft of history is no longer merely being written by journalists. It is being crowdsourced, algorithmically ranked, remixed, narrated, and increasingly synthesized by machines. Everyone can now behave like an intelligence analyst. There is an extraordinarily positive side to this development. Satellite imagery that once belonged primarily to governments can be commercially purchased. Ship and aircraft movements can be tracked. Videos can be geolocated. Government databases can be searched. Procurement records, sanctions filings, corporate registrations, congressional documents, weather information, and financial statistics can be combined by independent researchers. A capable individual sitting at home can sometimes discover something strategically important before a major newsroom publishes it. AI magnifies that capability. A person can now give an AI system hundreds of reports and ask it to identify contradictions, translate foreign language statements, construct timelines, compare military equipment, extract entities, search patterns, generate competing hypotheses, run basic scenario trees, summarize thousands of pages. This is an extraordinary democratization of analytical power. But democratizing intelligence-style tools does not automatically democratize intelligence-style discipline. That distinction may define the next decade. Real intelligence analysis does not simply ask, "Could this be true?" It asks, "What evidence supports it? What evidence contradicts it? What alternative explanations exist? Who benefits from the narrative? What information is missing? What level of confidence is justified? What would change the assessment?" Without those disciplines, AI does not necessarily create intelligence. It can create extremely sophisticated speculation. The rise of the geopolitical creator. The individual political commentator has consequently become a new institutional actor. The Reuters Institute reports that 27% of people globally now get information each week from news creators, individuals or groups distributing information primarily through social and video networks. Researchers found that audiences often consider creators easier to understand and more entertaining than traditional media, while simultaneously judging them less trustworthy and less impartial overall. This is an important contradiction. The person whom an audience trusts enough to watch every evening may have no editor, no intelligence methodology, no legal department, no bureau chief, no correction policy, no source protection procedures, and no requirement to distinguish reporting from interpretation. Yet, that person may have 2 million followers. In practical terms, some geopolitical creators now possess distribution networks larger than regional newspapers and television stations. They have become private miniature broadcasting systems. And then AI arrived. Generative AI changes the equation because it radically reduces the cost of producing persuasive information. One person can generate 20 articles, 50 social posts, political cartoons, translated propaganda, voiceovers, imaginary eyewitness accounts, synthetic photographs, podcast segments, fake screenshots, and hundreds of replies supporting the original narrative. The operation that once required a room full of people can increasingly be assisted by software. This is not hypothetical. OpenAI reported in February 2026 that malicious actors typically combine AI systems with traditional infrastructure, such as websites and social media accounts, rather than using AI in isolation. In June, OpenAI disclosed 2 clusters of accounts it assessed as likely originating from China that used AI in apparent covert influence activity targeting American technology debates. One produced material about AI data centers and electricity costs. Another generated content surrounding tariffs and US-China technology competition. Importantly, OpenAI said it found no evidence that the activity achieved meaningful breakout beyond the operation itself. A useful reminder that AI can make propaganda cheap without automatically making propaganda effective. Google Threat Intelligence has separately observed threat actors integrating AI into reconnaissance, social engineering, and other operational workflows as a productivity multiplier. The implication is crucial. AI does not have to invent an entirely new form of information warfare to transform information warfare. It simply has to make existing techniques cheaper, faster, and more scalable. The first AI native fog of war. War is where this becomes most dangerous. During the 2026 Iran conflict, fabricated satellite imagery, fake drone footage, recycled video, manipulated clips, and synthetic statements circulated across social networks. Reuters Institute researchers have described AI as materially thickening the traditional fog of war. Associated Press documented examples in which old Algerian football celebrations were presented as Iranian missiles over Israel. Footage from a French music festival was portrayed as Israelis fleeing their country. A 2017 Ukrainian ammunition depot fire became an alleged attack on an Israeli nuclear facility, and military video game footage became an alleged shootdown of an American fighter aircraft. An image purporting to show the body of Iran's leader beneath rubble was identified as AI-generated. Notice something important. Not all modern misinformation requires AI. Sometimes the most effective fake is simply real video plus false caption. AI now adds an entirely new category: events for which no original reality ever existed. Speculation is becoming a news product. Another development is subtler. Speculation itself has become monetizable. Imagine a real unexplained event. A general is suddenly fired. A warship changes direction. An aircraft disappears from public tracking. An embassy evacuates. A president cancels a meeting. A strange explosion occurs. An information vacuum appears. Historically, reporters might spend days trying to fill it. Today, the vacuum can be filled in minutes. One creator asks whether the event indicates something larger. Another connects 3 unrelated anomalies. A third produces a timeline. Someone feeds the timeline to an AI. The AI generates 5 possible scenarios. A screenshot removes the probability labels. Another account reposts the most dramatic scenario as an allegation. A 4th account reports that people are saying the allegation is true. By nightfall, the internet appears to contain dozens of separate confirmations, but they may all descend from one original speculation. This creates what JANUS would classify as a recursive information cascade. Possibility, commentary, repetition, apparent corroboration, narrative, perceived fact. AI can manufacture consensus. This may become even more important than deepfakes. People generally understand that an image can be fake. It is harder to recognize a synthetic crowd. 10,000 accounts can appear to independently express an opinion. Hundreds of posts can repeat similar allegations. Comments can challenge journalists. Artificial personalities can argue with one another. Memes can emerge simultaneously. Search results can become populated with derivative pages. The result is not merely fake content. It is the appearance of social proof. The European External Action Service says foreign information manipulation operations increasingly rely on interconnected digital infrastructure rather than isolated pieces of misinformation. Its investigations of 2024 activity identified more than 500 incidents spanning at least 25 platforms, approximately 38,000 accounts, 322 targeted organizations, and 90 countries. Its 2026 work continues to characterize these operations as networked systems requiring networked defense. NATO similarly warns that AI and deepfakes can amplify hostile information operations, generate confusion, and undermine trust in communications. The battlefield is therefore changing from who controls the message to who can manufacture the most convincing information environment around the message. The real danger is not that everyone believes the fake. There is another outcome that may be worse. Nobody believes anything. Every inconvenient recording becomes AI. Every leaked document becomes fabricated. Every photograph becomes staged. Every intelligence disclosure becomes PSYOP. Every correction becomes cover-up. Every coincidence becomes proof. Every official denial becomes confirmation. Eventually, the information environment becomes almost unfalsifiable. Researchers examining real-world political deepfake detection have found that even advanced detectors can struggle when faced with political deepfakes outside controlled laboratory datasets, particularly manipulated video. Technical detection alone, therefore, cannot resolve the epistemic problem. The future requires provenance. From is it fake to where did it come from? This is why technologies such as C2 pay content credentials may become strategically important. Rather than trying only to inspect pixels after something becomes suspicious, provenance systems can attach cryptographically verifiable information describing aspects of an asset's creation and modification history. The current C2 pass specification is designed specifically to preserve such provenance and tamper-evident information. The future information question may therefore evolve. Today, can you prove this image is fake? Tomorrow, can you prove where this image originated? Those are very different questions. Conspiracy theory is also changing. The term conspiracy theory is becoming increasingly inadequate for the digital information environment because several different categories are routinely collapsed together. There are completely fabricated narratives. There are genuine events surrounded by unsupported speculation. There are unresolved questions. There are legitimate investigative hypotheses. There are coordinated influence operations. There are authentic conspiracies subsequently uncovered through evidence. And there are deliberately absurd narratives injected into discussions to discredit genuine inquiry. Treating every unconventional hypothesis as automatically false is poor analysis. Treating every unusual coincidence as evidence of conspiracy is equally poor analysis. The correct analytical position is more demanding. Possibility is not probability. Probability is not evidence, and evidence is not proof until it survives competing explanations. The JANUS rule: investigate the anomaly, do not marry the narrative. This becomes increasingly important when following unexplained military movements, classified government decisions, or geopolitical rumors. JANUS should preserve multiple states simultaneously. Confirmed, independently established. Probable, evidence favors the explanation. Plausible, physically/institutionally possible but not demonstrated. Speculative, insufficient evidence. Alleged, claimed by an identifiable actor. Disputed, credible sources materially conflict. False evidence establishes the claim is incorrect. Unknown, the available evidence does not permit a defensible conclusion. Unknown may become one of the most important words in journalism. JANUS Scenario Outlook. Scenario I. The parallel intelligence ecosystem. Likelihood very high. Professional intelligence analysis, journalism, OSINT communities, influencers, and AI agents increasingly overlap. The public becomes accustomed to receiving intelligence-style scenario analysis alongside conventional news. Scenario 2. Permanent synthetic fog. Likelihood very high. Every major war, election, assassination, terrorist attack, and diplomatic crisis produces AI-generated images, audio, and video almost immediately. Verification becomes a permanent newsroom function, rather than a specialist service. Scenario 3. The verification renaissance. Likelihood high. As synthetic material becomes ubiquitous, verified provenance becomes valuable. Brands able to demonstrate origin, methodology, and correction history gain a new competitive advantage. Trust becomes a product. Scenario 4. Epistemic fragmentation. Likelihood high. Different populations inhabit radically different versions of the same geopolitical event. There is no universally accepted narrative, only competing information ecosystems. Scenario V. AI analyst arms race. Likelihood very high. Governments, newsrooms, corporations, activists, and independent investigators deploy AI agents continuously scanning thousands of sources. The competitive advantage shifts from merely possessing information to filtering, validating, and contextualizing information faster. Scenario 6. Synthetic crisis trigger. Likelihood low moderate, impact extreme. A convincing fabricated military communication, video, or announcement emerges during an already tense confrontation. Political leaders have minutes, not days, to establish authenticity before markets, militaries, or populations react. This is the highest risk branch. Scenario 7. The authenticity paradox. Likelihood high. The better synthetic media becomes, the easier it becomes for perpetrators of real acts to claim authentic evidence is AI-generated. Truth becomes harder both to prove and to deny conclusively. The new intelligence literacy. This new world does not require people to stop speculating. Speculation is essential to intelligence. Scenario construction is speculation disciplined by evidence. The answer is to separate categories visibly. A responsible geopolitical analyst should be able to say, here's what happened. Here is what is claimed. Here is what we can verify. Here is what remains unexplained. Here are the competing hypotheses. Here is the evidence required to elevate each one. Here is what we should watch next. That is substantially different from telling an audience what to believe. JANUS final assessment. The world is not simply entering an era of fake news. It is entering an era of mass-produced interpretation. Humans and machines can now generate explanations faster than reality can be investigated. That fundamentally changes geopolitics. The creator with a smartphone can become an investigator. The investigator can become a broadcaster. The broadcaster can become an influence node. The state can masquerade as the citizen. The citizen can analyze the state. The AI can assist either one. And one fabricated image can travel around the planet before the first professional investigator has determined where it came from. The answer cannot be censorship of every unusual idea, nor can it be indiscriminate belief. The answer must be a higher form of information literacy, one that welcomes unconventional hypotheses while demanding extraordinary verification before extraordinary allegations become facts. The 2026 information environment already demonstrates the urgency. Globally, 62% of respondents in the Reuters Institute survey said they were concerned about false or misleading information online. Trust in news encountered through social media stood at just 22%, and trust in news answers from AI chatbots at 20%, even as consumption through both channels continues to grow. That paradox captures the age perfectly. We increasingly distrust the information systems we increasingly depend upon. The future belongs neither to the person who believes everything, nor to the person who believes nothing. It belongs to the person, and increasingly the AI system, that can say, "This is confirmed. This is possible. This is speculation. And this is what would prove the difference."